Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by. KCR-Mark here. So when it comes to engine swaps in Gran Turismo 7, there's certainly plenty to choose from. As of update 1.50, there's currently 111 swaps in total. I know a lot of people use them, I'm a big fan of them myself. Whenever a new update comes out, I always gravitate towards the engine swaps to see what's new. I think it's a really clever way to keep the offline game nice and fresh as well. In course of making these tuning videos for my YouTube channel, I've tried each and every swap. Some are absolutely amazing and transform the car completely. Some just make no sense and some are just downright bizarre. So in this series of YouTube videos, I'm going to be going through my top 10 engine swaps in the game. As we go through the list, we'll come across some engines that can be swapped into multiple cars. To make this list not only fairer but more concise, I'm just going to be choosing one car per engine. So stay tuned, you might come across some new engine swaps you didn't know existed. There's some that certainly don't get mentioned very often, and I don't think you're going to be able to predict number one. It's not what you're going to be expecting at all. So we're going to kick off part 2 of my countdown. This is car number 6. This is the fantastic Nissan Skyline GTR R34. The engine swap for this car is a 3.5 V8 turbo, originally found in the 90s Group C car, the Nissan R92 CP. This is an engine that's available in quite a few different Nissans, but for me, this is definitely the pick of the bunch. The R34 is just a fantastic handling chassis, and this engine just seems to suit it to the ground. Now I know a lot of people are going to say it's a bit sacrilegious to put a V8 in a Skyline, and I kind of agree, but when it works this well, frankly, who cares? It's just a game. It's just absolutely fantastic. Fully tuned, this car can be pumping out 788 brake horsepower. Of course, with it being a Group C engine, it's incredibly good on fuel, so it's a car I use quite often for the Le Mans money grind, and it's just an all-round fantastically good car to drive. Very easy, it gives you loads of confidence, and you can just absolutely thrash it about all day, and it just never misses a beat. In at number 5, and for me this is a massively underrated engine swap. It's one that you may not have tried before. The car is the absolutely stunning Guerretti Fugu Z, based on the 70s Datsun 240Z. And into this you can swap the RB26 out of the bonkers Skyline Super Silhouette from 1984. Fully tuned, this engine can produce 788 brake horsepower, and mated to this incredibly light chassis, it produces an absolute fire-breathing monster. With the right setup and a bit of practice, this car can be devastatingly quick on track. The engine really suits this car. It's quite an old school engine, so it's got a very linear power delivery. It's not a brutal turbo like some of the more modern engines can be, and it really suits the car. I would say the only downside to this engine swap is the fuel economy, which isn't great. So unfortunately it's not made it into any of my build videos, so I haven't had a chance to use it as much as I would like, but I could watch the replays of this thing breathing fire all day long. I just think it looks absolutely spectacular. In at number 4, and for me this is one of the best handling rear wheel drive cars in the game. It's a fantastic E46 M3 BMW. Into this you can swap the 4 litre V8 out of the GT3 BMW Z4. Now, as explained in the intro, I'm not going to be using multiple cars with the same engine for this list, so it was a little bit of a tough decision because this engine fits in to a lot of very good BMWs, but for me the E46 M3 just had the edge over the others. It's just such a great chassis, and the V8 really suits it. It's got absolutely tons of grip for a rear wheel drive car. It's absolutely ballistic on track. It's so nice around the fast corners. Seems to have lots of downforce, and I just really love driving this. Every time I have a go in it, I just forget how good it is, and I always like a fast saloon car anyway. Very similar to the Skyline build earlier in the list, this produces 788 brake horsepower fully tuned. Again, with it being a Group 3 engine, very good on fuel, so it's a really useful bit of kit, an absolute blast to drive. And now, as I say, for something completely different, this is easily the most insane engine swap on the list. The car is the F-150 Raptor, and into this poor thing you can shoehorn an absolutely ridiculous engine. It's out the GAC Maverick. It's a 351 Windsor 8-litre V8 engine, and fully tuned it produces a frankly ridiculous 1,408 brake horsepower. No unsurprisingly, this truck isn't particularly useful. It's absolutely awful on fuel. It's got way too much horsepower. It doesn't really handle that well. It's just purely so high up the list because it's absolutely great fun to drive. If you haven't given this a go, I really urge you to give it a go. Just put some racing slicks on, put the softest suspension you can get on there, pure Wobble-matic settings, and just take it for a rip around your favourite track. It's absolutely a huge amount of fun. It grip rolls, it bounces, it bucks about. But it's just awesome. I absolutely love this thing. So that's all for part 2 of my top 10 countdown. If you want to see what makes the top 2 of my list, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe and hit the notifications. It's completely free. In the meantime, many thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and thanks for all the comments and feedback I've been getting recently. If you want to stay tuned to the end of the video, I've got a setup of all the cars that I've been using in this video. But for the meantime, many thanks, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.